Hi everyone, this is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the daily forecast. It is for all signs. It is originally created for Thursday, the 6th of April. The full moon is in Libra tonight, so make the most of that. Prepare to release whatever you need to attain balance, as Libra would represent a balancing effect. If this reading doesn't make sense, it's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong or broken. You just might be on a different path. It is a broad spectrum reading for all signs, so I do speak in broad terms. You need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. It's originally, like I said, it's originally created for Thursday, the 6th of April, but it's not solely set for that date. I believe readings can be timeless and find us when we need them. So if you're seeing it on a different date, don't get caught up in the date of the reading. If the reading makes sense to your situation, by all means, utilize it to the best of your ability. For those of you that are new, please check out my drop-down menu underneath my video. In there is just some information I want you to know about, like some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing the channel, what decks I'm currently using in the reading, how to contact me or follow me on social media. If you want a private reading, you would need to message either my Instagram or my Facebook business page. Know that I will never reach out to you to sell you a reading, so if anybody attempts to, it's not me. Also, some easy ways to support the channel. You can do so by hitting that thumbs up button if you enjoy the content, subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell, sharing the video out, letting other people know about me, and leaving me a question or comment. All of that, I do read them and I do appreciate them, and it lets me know if this stuff is resonating and making sense to your particular situation. You have to figure out, like I said earlier, you have to figure out if and where it fits in your life, okay? So let's see what the cards have to say today to us. I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning energy. That is the Sunday reading, which populates in the lower left-hand corner of this video. So if you hear me talking about cards that you don't see in this reading, I'm usually referencing back to those cards. Alright, so let's see what our card is for the day. We have the Ace of Earth. Interesting, because I feel like we had the Ace of Cups earlier this week. Did we not? We did. So two aces, and I'm going to say this, with the full moon happening this week, and spring, just kind of like, the change into spring, this is about new beginnings, new opportunities. The Ace of Pentacles can represent some new opportunity within our 3D world, like how we make our money, where we make our money, where we're inspired to change our 3D world. That can also represent sort of in relationships. The Ace of Earth is not necessarily fully a relationship card. I mean, it can indicate marriage and things like that, but to me, I keep thinking about the card that we saw yesterday and the underpinning energy of this week, which is that Sacred Union card, and that Sacred Union is about inner and outer relationships. So it makes me think of the relationship to the self and being inner, and then the relationship to how we relate outward into our world, into our surroundings. And these Earth cards, because we saw the Eight of Pentacles yesterday in the reading too, it's like sort of, where are we most productive? Where do we fit into our 3D sort of physical day-to-day world? What is the actions that we're taking, the steps that we're utilizing to get what we sort of want? The aces always indicate, to me, a focus on the self, because they are card number one, but they're also usually surprises or windfalls, illuminations or inspiration that comes out of nowhere that kind of changes the game for us. The Ace of Pentacles would be no different. It would change, maybe how we see a particular situation in our day-to-day world, and feeling empowered to maybe make those changes or take that new path towards this new opportunity or option that's been made available to us, right? I love that this buck is sort of standing and staring at us face on, right, on the top of this kind of cliff. Like, we've gone through the motions and now we're ready to take on the next, or what's being presented to us. Underpinning this from the Sunday reading is that Tower card. So we should be experiencing shifts or changes, or people around us are experiencing shifts or changes. But I don't get this feeling that we're being rocked so much, because we see Yesterday we saw the Eight of Pentacles, and today we see the Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles to me is probably the most grounded and solid of the suits. So it's weird, but I feel like we're prepared for the shift, and we're looking for the positive within this shift, especially with this Ace here. We're looking for where is the new opportunity to grow, to learn, to change, to move forward in a way that is practical, discerning, grounded, productive, right? And that serves us. So I kind of get this feeling that even if there is shifts or changes or things on faulty foundations are showing themselves to us, we understand that there's a reason for this. And we're taking that reason sort of not in vain, right? We're not playing the card of, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Because oftentimes in tower moments we can do that. We can shift into that because change is usually something that people want to avoid or that can feel uncomfortable. But with this Ace of Pentacles here, it almost feels like we are embracing this change. We're facing it head on, just like this buck is staring us right in the face. He's like in the present moment going, come on, bring it on, bitch. That's kind of how I feel. There's a renewal with the aces, right? There's a renewed sense of faith in maybe ourselves or in how we're going to handle these changes or what steps we're going to take. There could be inspiration in seeing maybe new outcomes or new possibilities through the shifts and changes of the tower, even if those shifts and changes feel uncomfortable, but they don't have to. And that's kind of what these Pentacles cards have been feeling to me, is that like we almost know that this change needs to take place, and so we're embracing it at some level and moving with it rather than against it. The other thing I'm going to say, as I said that, I just noticed right around his antlers, there's these 3 butterflies, right? You see 1, 2, 3? Butterflies are a sign of transformation, right? A butterfly normally has to go through their pupa and not succubus, but they have that other chrysalis. Succubus. You succubus! They have that pupa and chrysalis phase, or maybe it's chrysalis and then pupa. But the whole thing about the butterfly is that they kind of get dissolved down to goo, and then they come back out reformed in this beautiful, delicate, yet delightful creature, right? And so that could be some of this Ace of Pentacles, is this renewal and this belief in ourselves and this re-establishment of ourselves, a new knowing. There's also this sort of glow around his head that says to me, I kind of get this funny feeling that Spirit is right behind us, kind of guiding us. So allow Spirit in today. And remember, the grounding stone for the week this week is about honor. So honoring ourselves first and foremost in the midst of the changes that the tower may be presenting is going to be completely okay and important, right? And that's also sort of why we're seeing these aces, I think, is the focus needs to first be on ourselves. You know, that sacred union card is about the union of inner and outer relationships. So it's like, first work on your relationship to yourself and how can you transform that, find inspiration in that, and then taking that and moving that out into our outside connections, relationships, and how we operate in the world is going to serve us very well, especially in the face of transformation. Okay, let's go to this the Rose Oracle and see what that has to say. Okay, interesting that this comes out because yesterday's grounding stone was the Nature Stone. We are nature, becoming grounded, embodiment, and living in connection. I love how she's definitely connected to the earth, but there's also water in here, and there's this little like spirit of herself within her heart, in her throat, that she's kind of connecting to. Do you see that little woman in the like mist there? And she's connected. She's closing her eyes, similar to the Sacred Union card, where she's going inward and she's honoring the self. She's understanding the connection that she has to everything around her. The Ace of Pentacles would be connected in that way also. And we are honoring those sacred unions that we have. Sacred union can also be more of a broad spectrum term in the sense of how do we relate to the world around us. It doesn't have to be about a specific person or relationship. It can be for some of you, but it can also just be like, how do we relate to what's going on in our world? Are we trapped by it, or are we embracing it? Are we transforming it and, you know, what's the word? Like, I'm going to say this. There's this fine line between allowing Jesus to take the wheel and us being in self-will. And I don't feel like this is about self-will. I feel like this is about looking at the situation from a greater whole perspective and understanding our connectedness to the greater picture, even if the greater picture shifts and changes in ways that were unexpected. What is it? We are nature. We are nature tells us that we are connected. We saw the nature stone yesterday, which was kind of telling us to ground in this connection. And now this card to me feels like that's the further progression of really living from that space and honoring that, speaking from our heart, speaking from our emotions, being true to ourselves, and working from that place of grounded, discerning, practical achievement, transformation, right? Let's look at I hope this makes sense, guys. Let's look at the clarifiers and see what we've got going on. All right, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. We've been seeing a fair amount of Pentacles energy. Again, he is steady, reliable. He's going to move when he's ready. He's not going to be pushed by any outside source. He's going to make the right decision at the right time when he knows completely that it's right for him. So I feel like this being a clarifier underpinning all of this says, again, it refers back to this stability that we have while things are changing for us, or while our perceptions, the way we view a situation, whatever, as it changes, we're on solid footing. We might be seen as, slow moving, maybe even, I don't want to say stubborn, but sometimes the Knight of Pentacles can seem like he's immovable, but that's okay. We're connecting in at a deeper level today to what's going on around us, how we feel about it, and then speaking that truth and acting on that truth when the time is right. Let's go to the next clarifier. Ace of Swords. I will take it. There's like aces, aces, aces all over the place this week. Ace of Swords is celebratory. It's oftentimes a resounding yes. It's clarity of mind. It's about truth. It's about that truth coming to us. It's almost like the truth of the mind affects how we act in the 3D world, and the truth of that. From this new truth of how we see something, communicate something, or feel about something, and that's also this woman in the pond at the throat chakra and the heart chakra. It's like the connection of our heart to our communication brings about a truth that we can take practical action on, albeit maybe it's slow and steady, step by step, but it's leading us in the correct direction. It's definitely a new direction, right, with these aces, a new way of communicating or a new way of taking action. But it serves us very, very well, is my feeling here. Let's look at the last clarifier. The Nine of Pentacles. So, Nine of Pentacles is about independence. It's about freedom. It's about having everything we need within ourselves. We see this woman with this falcon. She's in a field of abundant sort of grapes, fruitful crops. Nines are about personal completions. Again, leading us back to the relationship to the self. Pentacles being about Earth, right? Our 3D world, how we operate in it, the decisions we make. This is about us standing tall in our truth, embracing our truth wholeheartedly, even if it might be a new truth, and communicating that truth and living from that truth and understanding that that truth provides us with everything that we need. We don't need anyone else's outside confirmation, validation, or affirmation for us to be sort of solid and steady. This feels like an extremely, with the Knight, the Nine, and the Ace of Pentacles, this is a very, and even the We Are Nature card, it's like a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Balanced, which is a great word for the full moon in Libra. Connected, sturdy, I don't want to say immovable, but we feel strong today. Clear, empowered. So if you're not feeling this way and you're seeing this reading and you're leading into this day and you're going what is he talking about? This reading is to let you know that these are the energies that are at play and are available to us. So, and this is the reason why I do these forecasts, is to let you guys know what's out there and what you can take advantage of or be aware of to take action or make decisions around to potentially avoid. This is not something I would want to avoid. This is something I would want to embrace. This is a strength, a self-assuredness, a truth, a clear, precise communication in what we want, what we need, coming from not only our mind, but also from our heart and our, I almost want to say like our physical body, even with all this pentacles, from our soul, because this We Are Nature card does feel very otherworldly, and so does that light behind the buck on the Ace of Pentacles. And aces, too, just as a point of reference, you know, the hand in the traditional tarot is always coming out of the clouds. In other words, like, spirit will be giving us inspiration. Now, spirit, when I say spirit, that could be our higher self, that could be our God, that could be our guides. However you connect into that, embracing that, if it's coming from your higher self, which very much it could be today with two aces and all of this Pentacles energy, like, grab it, ground it, and make it real. Connect it in. You know what I'm saying? That's sort of this We Are Nature card. What was the wording again? I just want to look at this one more time. Becoming grounded, embodiment, living in connection. And did I not just say connect it? You know, take what spirit is giving us, and that can be our spirit, guys. It doesn't have to be some, you know, ephemeral essence or being that's outside of us. I mean, it can be, and there's nothing wrong with that, but this can also be coming from within the self and honoring that information, that truth, that with clarity and with stability. There's a lot of stability here with all of this Pentacles energy too. So I really get a feeling that this full moon may be very powerful for us bringing in this sort of truth, this stability, this strength, and then connecting us in. And again, like I said, that sacred union is telling us to focus on where our inner and outer relationships are at. And first we have to connect to that inner for it to ripple out and then for it to affect the outer. Let's look at the grounding stone for today. And I'll say this too, I love that this is coming during a time when the tower is underpinning this. So it feels like to me that if there is a tower that's kicking off somewhere, it could be for someone we love, it could be at work, it may not even be directly, we may not even be directly in the middle of it, but we're watching it go on around us. We are strong during it. We are stable. We are clear. We are precise. We are capable within this shift or change. Does that make sense? And the funny thing is I have to say this personally for me, as I say this to you guys, I'm trying to think, where does this fit in my life? My work right now, they are changing so many things right now, like work functions and how we do things all at once, like different systems within the computer, how we look at our work schedule, how we connect to our phone lines. And it's like change after change, and it feels overwhelming. But it affects me, yes, but I can also roll with those changes and I can still be strong within them. And that's what these cards are saying to me and how I connect to them. First, I need to connect into my own inner truth and strength, my own inner wisdom, my own independence, and understand that I can communicate that, be solid and grounded throughout these changes. All right, let's get to this grounding stone. Funny enough, look who it is. It's Spirit. And what I will say about this stone always wants to roll. I almost had it standing. Spirit's always up to, you know, being goofy. Come on. So Spirit is a couple things here. Like I was saying earlier, this can be our own higher self, our own spirit, and honoring that and acting from that in the 3D world and in our mind, in the choices and the decisions, the thoughts that we have, the words that we communicate, right? It can also just be allowing spirit or our angels, our guides in to assist us in finding this strength and stability, but it's up to us to sort of maintain it, own it, have it, act upon it in our 3D world. This feels extremely powerful, like a powerful shift. And I hope that that is what you guys are experiencing. Please leave me a question or comment. Let me know if this feels like this is your reading. I would love to know that. Connect into the truth of your own spirit. That's that woman in that pond at the heart chakra. And then act from that place, from that truth, from that resounding strength, and let that emanate out into your 3D world. You'll be surprised of the new changes and the transformations that take place even in the face of adversity. Again, this is your reading, so please, if this is your reading, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. I do put up daily content. Subscribe to my Patreon if you feel so inclined. You get to see the readings a day early. And share the video out. Leave me a question or comment. I look forward to seeing how this transforms tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and really embrace this and make the most of it. Take care. Bye-bye.